Have you ever watched those toppers videos where they talk about studying for 14 hours a day, 16 hours a day, or 18 hours a day, and thought, wait, am I being lazy? Yeah, same. I've been there. The problem is everywhere in this circle of undergraduate entrance examinations, there is a typical hype about the magical numbers of 14 hours, 16 hours, and the worst 18 hours of studying a day. So there is everyone talking about how to study 18 hours a day, how to study 14 hours a day, or I have been doing this for this while and I have cracked this exam. So first of all, I'm not saying that they haven't done it. Of course, they would have. And I'm not saying that it's compulsory. It's not. Look, everybody have their own pace, own way of studying, own way of understanding things. So it's not that if somebody is studying for 14 hours or 18 hours, you are behind them if you are not doing that. If you are studying for 6 hours or 8 hours and doing it with consistency, doing it with the focus, and you get what you are studying in those hours, then you are already winning. So, what whenever somebody says something like that and it just clicks in your brain, what actually happens is, or what I used to do is, first I watched a video a day before or at night, maybe after doing every task or every XYZ thing, and watch that video. The next day, I'm thinking that now, today, I will do 16 hours a day, where earlier I was doing just 8 hours a day, which is half, exactly half of it. So I start the day after 8 hours. I felt like, okay, I can do it. I went for 2 more hours and then I push myself more, and maybe I reach the goal of 16 hours. Maybe that's a maybe. Okay. Maybe first day you will reach it. The second day, your mind is already made up and you are like, okay, yesterday I did it, today even I can. You do it again. On the third day, maybe you lack 1 or 2 hours and then you start self criticism. And the fourth day, it's like you tried again, but now your focus is getting fader, like you're zoning out in between. And then as the days go forward, you feel so burned out that your focus is cracking day by day. It's just you are watching a lecture or you are reading a line and you have to read it again and again, rewind the video again and again because nothing is going inside your brain. That's what burnout is, and that's what happens if you push yourself suddenly to something you haven't done before and you haven't thought about it yourself but got influenced by somebody in a night over a night. That's not how you go for these kinds of changes. Look, nothing is impossible. It could be possible, it could be productive for you, it could be a new change for you. I'm not saying not to adopt these things, not to try these things, because, yes, of course, if somebody did, maybe it will work for you as well. But it clearly doesn't say when it clearly doesn't define that you studying for 14 hours will make any difference in your studies with something you were studying for like 6 hours if someday you were studying for 6 hours. It's not. Everybody have their different focus timings, different way of studying, but fine. Let's keep it at a side, okay? And before telling you like how to do it, how you can do it, and how you can even adopt this method of 14 hours a day or 16 hours a day, you need to normalize one thing. Okay, and I'm saying it, normalize. It means it should be in your brain, in your bones, that it is normal. It is normal, like sun rising in the morning and fading in the during the time of sunset in the evening. Okay, so it should be this normal. And this is, not every day is going to be productive. Not every day is going to be like you studied for these many hours and they all were productive. It can't be. Not every day of your life could look like exactly the ones which are ideal. No, every day is a new day, new light, and you will get new experiences every day, even after you are sitting in the same cubicle. Every day is not gonna be same. Maybe one day you have studied for 14 hours, maybe one day you will be studying for just 5 hours. And then you criticize yourself, and that's not a thing you should do. If you haven't studied, if there were some circumstances you couldn't study for those many hours, it's fine. It's fine. It's some days, for some days it's fine. Most of the days you are doing what you should be. Okay? So calm yourself down on this. Then let's talk about how to do it. So, first of all, if you are at a stage of doing 8 hours a day, don't suddenly jump for many hours. Like 12 is fine, from 8 to 12, it is fine. Maybe you can do it overnight, but that even I won't recommend. You should go slow, because this is not a race, this is a marathon. You don't have to give your exam tomorrow. You have your exam after 5 to 6 months, and for these 5 to 6 months, you need to study. You need to study at a pace. You need to gradually improve it. Gradually, you need to go higher, not get demotivated, burned out, and go down. No, that's not how you could crack any exam. You need to improve throughout the journey. So, how you will? You need to start small. You can't think of like you are studying for just 6 or 8 hours and suddenly the next day you will go and study for 16 hours and you think that it will continue for long. No, it can't. Someday, like for now, you were studying for 6 or 8 hours, gradually improve to 7 to 9 hours. Then gradually means one day, on day 1 you are at 8. On day 2, you go for 9. On day 3, you still go for 9. On day 4, you still go for 9. And then on day 5 and the further days, you improve like this 1 hour. 3 days, 1 hour, you'll improve. Are you getting it? It's going to take time. It's going to be slow. But it's going to work. And it's going to work like wonders. And remember, if you are doing this cycle and if you have reached like 14 hours and then suddenly one day there is less productivity and you studied for lesser number of hours, maybe let's suppose you had went to again to the 6 7 hours or something, fine, the next day you try again. And if you couldn't catch up for those 14 hours the next day after being in an unproductive day, that's fine. Start again. Start again with maybe this time from 9 hours or 10 hours and go further. Don't push yourself unnecessarily. It will just burn you out and it will just create more and more frustration, nothing else. It's not gonna help you in any way. So just be kind to yourself and think positively, think like a smart person, not a critic sitting inside your brain, which actually comes during these years. So just relax. And for the kids who are, just the beginners and watch these videos and suddenly start with these many hours, no, that's not the way of doing it. The droppers have actually came across to know that this is not the way to study. You study the way you want. The clock is hitting, but that doesn't mean that you have to study every minute. No, you study for 1 hour and you have done a lot. I'm not saying 1 hour is enough, not at all, but everybody have their own pace and they should work according to it. They shouldn't force their life, their pace to somebody's else box just because they have reached the part you want to. Everybody is having on their own journey. Nobody is behind or nobody is in front of you. You have your different lane, they have their different lane, everybody is working on their life. So just don't compare yourself to anyone, because the spiral of comparison, the spiral of guilt, self-doubt, and constant criticism is going to make you feel worse and worse, and it will not help you to go anywhere in life. So just be positive and stay healthy.